if we were to ask ourselves, why do some people out there like truth heresy? Truth heresy. What a name. Heresy against the truth, heretical to the truth. But it makes sense. But why do some individuals like truth heresy and other Gentiles out there, and Gentile-minded ones, and ones who have the Gentile-minded misunderstanding and misinterpretation, why do they like to make believe that Solomon and Sheba, the Solomon and Sheba history and the Solomon and Sheba story is not true? Why do they try to make us think that it's a false mythology? It's a true myth. It's a true mythos, because mythos, you have to look up the word. Mythos means a word. It means a word. Mythos means a word. It means a story. It's like a parable, like in the Bible, a parable. But that doesn't mean a parable is not true. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean a parable is not true. I mean, we can go through this and give you examples. In fact, it's from a natural genesis of something really happening that becomes mythologicalized or put in a mythos sense. It's put in a story sense. You understand, like an oral tradition. Oral traditions are stories and so forth and so on that passed on. Then someone or ones who have written ability or literary ability puts it into writing. Then some other race or group of people come along and try to tell you that your truth, your story, like the KEBRA NAGAST, is what they misunderstand as a mythology, or it's not real, it's not true, it never did happen. Why? Why do they say this? This is a question some of us be asking ourselves. Why? Because there's no practical benefit for them. No practical benefit, no boasting, because white supremacy cannot boast in Solomon and Sheba, especially the Ethiopic truth of Solomon and Sheba and the KEBRA NAGAST, because they cannot boast in it. They rather try to make believe or detract from it, or even, worse yet, distract from it those of us who are seeking the truth, those of us who have found the truth, and those of us who are disseminating the truth. So think about this for a moment. There's no practical, white supremacy cannot benefit white folks, especially the racist one, the Aryan New Agers. They can't do anything with the Solomon and Sheba story. It doesn't fit into their modern Naziist, their neo-Naziist philosophy. You understand? Their New Age philosophy. They can't work with it. You understand? They can't do anything with it. In fact, it basically puts to shame another evidence in all of their lies against black folks, both then and now. So don't get it twisted when you come across these individuals. Now, the niggers, the black folks who follow after these people, or who swallow down whole everything these individuals say and can't really think for themselves, well, that's just a dumb nigger, basically. Now, what's really interesting is that when white people, Europeans, they used, like Solomon and Sheba, excuse me. The whole thing about Solomon and Sheba is that when it was convenient for white supremacy, for the Euro Gentiles, it was convenient for the Gentiles to make believe that Solomon and Sheba was real and was white, and it benefited them. Oh, you understand? They used it. They try to co-opt it. The reason why they're now trying to downplay it, they're trying to trifleize it, trying to throw it off into some fantasy land as though it's not true, the story of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, and trying to speculate vainly on a Greco-Roman juvenile form of metaphysics. That's what Truth Heresy and the rest of them do when they try to take soul from Latin and apply it to the Hebrew. That's what they do when they try to take the so-called Latin. You know, they try to misinterpret. When we did the video, Solomon misinterpreted. They try to take soul, which is Latin, soul, come from Latin, and then try to vainly apply it to their anglicized version or perversion rather, of the name of Solomon or Solomon. You know what I'm saying? They try to take soul based on the anglicization of the Hebrew Solomon or Shlomo, or the Hebrew Solomon, which is Solomon. They try to now take soul, which comes from Latin, pervert it, twist it, and then vainly apply it to some sort of Gentile form of mythology, or Gentile form of metaphysics, or Gentile form of esoterics. And it's just another form of the Gentile misinterpretation and whitewashing and desperation to take from us everything that we've got. You know what I'm saying? Take from us that which applies to us, that which is ours, like the KEBRA NAGAST in the story of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba and MAKEDA. They try to say it's a myth. Now, what is a myth? That's before you even get twisted about the word myth when it's thrown out there. Let's define myth. A myth is a story. A myth basically is what you would call in the Bible or Christianity a parable or an example, or if you want to go into sociology or one of these other anthropology or these other kind of sciences in college, they can call it an oral tradition. A tradition that has been passed down orally. You understand? And then at some latter point in time, it has been written. And then, therefore, it becomes a written matter. And what is history? History is his story, but this is our story. But they're trying to say that it's not reality, you know what I'm saying, because they cannot co-opt it. They cannot take it. They cannot steal it. They cannot apply it to themselves. And if they were to accept it as true, which it is true, it would show the superiority of the one whom they cast upon inferiority. In other words, they've cast inferiority upon the Africans, inferiority upon the Ethiopians, inferiority upon black people in general. But now, if they have to accept that they were wrong and lying, then, well, there's a judgment for that. There's a penalty for that. You see, the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon has a lot of practical relevance for us as black folks, as black people, and as Africans, and in particular as Ethiopians and Ethiopian Hebrews, and us as the lost, once lost but now found Beit Israel, those of us, the Falashas of the West, of the Amenta, those of us over here in this spiritual Egypt. It has much relevance for us, but it doesn't have any relevance and any practical relevance for them. So instead of acknowledging the truth, they would try to vainly say that it's a myth and try to keep you in ignorance of what myth and mythos actually really means.
And when the Lamb opened the seventh seal, silence covered the sky. When the Lamb opened the seventh seal, opened the seventh seal, opened the seventh seal.
If we were to ask ourselves, why do some people out there like truth heresy? What a name. Heresy against the truth, heretical to the truth. But it makes sense. But why do some individuals like truth heresy and other Gentiles out there, and Gentile-minded ones, and ones who have the Gentile-minded misunderstanding and misinterpretation, why do they like to make believe